All right, this morning we're talking about email marketing, and this is going to be a two-part series. Today we're going to talk about just the setup for email marketing. It's going to include subscribers, setting up message templates, the ability to connect your forms to your subscriber lists directly from your site, things like that. And then the next time we'll get into the nitty-gritty of actually sending email campaigns, creating campaigns and issues, A/B tests for messages, things like that. So to get started on your email marketing, you want to click this tab here up at the top that says Marketing, and you'll see this little list of email campaign screens. You've got campaigns, message templates, mailing lists, and subscribers. The first thing I want to talk about is subscribers. And so if you click that, you'll see your list of subscribers if you have them. If you don't have them yet, this will be blank. When you click More Actions here and click Import Subscribers, it's going to bring up a screen that allows you to import an Excel file into your website. This is perfect if you keep your if you keep your customers in another place right now. Maybe you already have a spreadsheet created where you keep this, or if you are using another system and you want to try this one since it's built into the back end of your website, then you can export your subscriber list from your current system like MailChimp, Constant Contact, Second Street, something like that, and then import them in here. Note that the file has to be a CSV or a text file, but Microsoft Excel in pretty much any version will create a CSV for you. And then you'll see it has mapped the source columns, and so you can put your email, first and last name for each of the people on your list. And then if you have a header that says something like email address, first name, last name, you can skip that. Where it says select mailing lists, you can divvy up your subscribers into mailing lists how you see fit. And so if you want one for maybe current customers that have recently bought equipment, you want to send them service specials or part specials, a few aftermarket things, then you can have those lists. You can have like a prospective owner list, maybe people that have visited your store and they were interested but they haven't bought yet, or maybe they filled out a form on your website but they haven't yet purchased a piece of equipment. You can, like I said, you can split up to lists just like that, whatever best fits your dealership. So I can add this to my test mailing list and click Done. And then the last thing you can do is check if you want to import the subscribers with emails that already exist, do not import, so it won't create duplicates, or you can replace your existing subscribers. The difference between the two of these is basically if it reads a first name, last name, and email address and they're all the same, it will not import that because it doesn't want to make a duplicate. But if you want to update that email address, so maybe the first name and last name matches, but there's a new email address, then you can click this Replace Existing Subscribers just to make sure that you have the most up-to-date email address for the people you want to send messages to. So that's a little bit about importing subscribers. I also want to go to mailing lists here. As I said, you can create mailing lists that that basically fit your dealership and the needs that you have. But I want to show you a really cool trick when you create a mailing list where you can connect this up to a form. So we can call this our service list. And then this mail settings gives you the option to kind of pre-populate some of these things. Like the from name, it could be the name of your dealership. Mine is called Grapevine Tractor on my demo site. You can always have the same subject, though I don't recommend this. I think leaving this blank is just fine. But you could say, what's new in Grapevine, or what's new at Grapevine, something like that. The reply to email is going to be the email address that if someone clicks, if they get an email from you and they click reply, this is going to be who that goes to. A lot of times, that's going to be like an info email, like info@grapevinetractor.com. For instance, the one that we use on our TracTru emails is kubotahelp@tractru.com, so that it goes to all of the support staff. So if someone emails in a question, then any of us are able to grab that and help them. So that's your reply to email. And then just a little bit of text to remind people how they got on the list. And so it gives you an example here. So you can say something like, you are receiving this because you've recently purchased a piece of new equipment, or you've recently filled out the service request form, anything like that. And then you have to set an unsubscribe page. And that's really easy to do. I already have one set up under utilities. And then I'll show you how to do that. It's really simple. We're going to do that at the end here. So I've selected my unsubscribe page. And then advanced, this is where this is really helpful with the mailing lists. So you can click if you want to welcome new subscribers or follow up with people that unsubscribe. But when you click Add Connection here, this is going to add people directly from your forms. So this is my service list. From this, I'm going to click Sitefinity Forms module, and then I can click Connect this list to, and I want to connect to the service request form. And then you just hook up the name, and you can click up the email right here, and you're good to go. So I've got this connected to my service request form. That means anytime someone fills out that service request form, it's going to automatically import their information into my mailing list. Directly, it's going to still send the exact same contact email, the form submission that you're used to getting, but now you have them in a mailing list and you can use them for that as well. And I'm just going to click create this mailing list, and it's going to hook this all up for me right here. So I've got my service list created. Perfect. I want to show you a little bit about the unsubscribe page. I'm going to go to Pages, and you can create a new page. And then make sure that you always select full width as the layout. So if you look over here on the layout, I've got, for the template, I've got full width. And I think I can show you this in title and properties as well. So I literally just called this page Unsubscribe from Mailing List. It's under my utilities, but you can put it anywhere. And then I unchecked everything here because I don't want this to show up in the navigation on my website. And one other helpful thing to do is usually if you click on Advanced Options, right here, these two top areas are tagged, or they're checked rather. So you have Allow Site Search to Index and Allow External Search Engines to Index. We want to uncheck those because we only want people to go to this page if they need to unsubscribe from the mailing list. We don't want Google to find this page or Bing. We don't want this to show up when people are searching through pages on our site. So we're going to uncheck these top two checkboxes. And then usually there's a spot to select your layout. That's always going to be full width. And so we're selecting that, and then we're going to click Save Changes. That's going to bring us to our editing screen here. And then all you have to do, I'll actually take this unsubscribe off just to show you how this looks. So usually whenever you start, your edit page looks like this. You just have page title, you get this container here. If you scroll down on this list on the right, there's email campaigns, kind of close to the bottom. And when you click that, it says unsubscribe. All you have to do is drag and drop that in the container, and it automatically fills out the rest for you. That's all that's required. And then when you publish, this unsubscribe page is ready to go. So this is one of those things that you can create once in a jiffy, and once it's done, you really don't have to touch it ever again because you can just send all of the unsubscribe pages or the unsubscribe clicks to this specific page. So perfect there. And then the last thing I want to talk about is going back to marketing here, and under email campaigns, I'm going to click on message templates. And so you can create your own template here in the back end. They usually are very blank. So I'm going to create a new one, and I'm going to show you an example of one that we can set up for you. So I'm clicking on Create a Message Template. And every single person here has one that's called Default. So I'm going to say Create Default. I'm going to just leave it to like a web page. And then I'm going to click Create and go to Add Content. And like I said, this is usually set up on your site for you. But we have a default template that uses something called email, just like this. And you'll notice it's got 3 sections for the email: the header, the body, and the footer. So your header is usually your dealership logo. You'll notice we usually put the TracTru logo or the CULTIVATE logo there, and maybe your if you have a tagline, like no one can beat our prices or whatever that might be. You can put that there. You can put links to pages on your site, just about anything in this header. If you, I know that not everybody has a lot of HTML experience, but if you know someone that has HTML experience, they can even make you a completely custom, really nice looking header. And that's what I'm going to show you here in a second. But otherwise, you can drag and drop things into each of these areas. So for image, you can just click here and select your logo. I'm just going to find my Grapevine logo like this. And it's not styled or anything. It's just on the side there, but it's very easy to add something like that logo. As a matter of fact, if you want this to be centered, what I recommend doing is actually dropping a content block here, which if you'll remember from previous sessions of Cultivate, the content block is kind of like your Swiss Army knife of widgets. You can use it for so many things. So I'm just going to put my Grapevine logo. I'll use my orange one. And then I can make it original size. I'm going to center it up here. Then I'm going to make sure it's centered in the content block. And we're good to go. Say big. So this is my just little tagline that I might want to add in here. And I can style it by selecting it here and then going up to where it says normal and selecting like heading 4. And then I'll make it a little larger and bolder. So that could be my header. My footer could just be links to my social media, or just a the name of my dealership. Like I could say Grapevine Tractor and Equipment. And again, I can center this up. I can make it a little bit larger. And then below this, and this part is pretty important, you need to add your unsubscribe link here. And this is very easy to do. So you'll see this looks very similar to every other content block that you've seen on the site, but it has this drop down here that says first name, last name, subscriber, email, that kind of thing. And so from this list, I can put unsubscribe link and then hit insert, and it's going to insert this little thing here that looks kind of funky. But basically what that's going to do is it's going to add your unsubscribe link to the email so that people can click that and unsubscribe if they need to. And you need to add this because it's very important that people be able to opt out of your emails if they don't want them. You don't want them to report you to anybody for not being able to offer the opt-out on your email. So that's all you have to do is find unsubscribe link in this drop-down, and then click insert, and it's going to insert it wherever you had your cursor. So there's that. It's going to style it however I have this content block styled, so that's nice. And then for your body here, this is just like any other email you've ever seen. You can add a content block, and you can say anything that you want. Tell them about your an open house you have coming up, that kind of thing. You can start off with a header like this that says hello sir, madam, but if you want a more like a personalized salutation, we can come back up here to this drop down and we can insert their first name. So if I click first name and insert, it's going to automatically insert their first name from the mailing list. You can also add the last name if you want, just by coming up here and hitting last name and insert. So now I've got first name, last name in here. So if this was me, it would say hello Kyle McCourt whenever I get my personalized email. So that's a little bit about working on the default template, but I wanted to show you a few things that you can add from templates that we create for you. So I'm going to go back to message. I'll save this one for now. So the way to think about templates is you're making a template and it's going to keep your email marketing looking consistent every time. So you're not going to edit much content on these. As a matter of fact, I usually use placeholder content that really doesn't really mean anything. It just holds the style that I want. And then next week we're going to talk about creating campaigns and issues, and each issue is like an email within a campaign. So you can have one campaign that's just for maybe service inspection specials, but you can have an issue go out every week as a reminder for people. So you could have like 4 issues within one campaign. And that's where you would edit the text for these templates. You don't want to edit on these templates all the time because you're always going to be changing your styles, and it's just a lot easier to do that from the issue, so you kind of have a blank canvas to work off of. I'm going to click on this message example here that we've created. And so this is the exact same default email template that we saw earlier, but we built a ton of custom widgets that we can drag and drop into your website. So it'll look fantastic like this. So on this content block is a piece of HTML, and it's got the Kubota logo here. It's got my dealer logo. It says your Kubota dealer, but it could say save big or no one beats our savings. I can link to these different pages on my site, like my equipment, service, parts, and locations pages. I've got a content block. Again, because this is a template, this is just some example text here that we have. And then I've got some other cool custom widgets that we built. So we've got one for blog posts, and that's going to have recent news. And so that's going to pull in the most recent 3 blog posts that I've published. So the great thing about this is it's dynamic, meaning I've added this to this email, and now anytime I update a blog post, the next time I send an email, this is going to have the most recent one. So for instance, let's say I send an issue out that has this exact recent news, and then I add a couple of new blogs and I send another issue out. It's going to have new blogs here because those are going to be more recent than the ones we have here. We also do the same thing with dealer specials, and these are going to be specials that you post, like tractor packages, inspection specials, parts store specials, things like that at your dealership. And you can pick and choose the ones you want to display here. It's also going to let you pick your Kubota special offer. So if you have a couple of special offers from Kubota that you want to feature, you can add those here as well and change those up every time you send a message out. And then we have recently added equipment, and this is the most recently added used equipment from the site. So again, these 3 pieces are here now, but if I add 3 new pieces of used equipment between now and my next issue, then it will have the latest equipment there. I don't have to change that at all. It's automatic. Very cool. And then what you see here below is the footer, and I've just got my dealership name, my tagline, got some links to pages. And these links to pages are the exact same as you see in the header, but they don't have to be. You can change this up if you want to, or you can omit it entirely. And then I have links to social media, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn here. And then I can also add my unsubscribe link here in the footer if I wanted to. So these are all custom widgets we built for you to be able to use as well. And we can help you set these up if you're interested in doing so. And so that's all I have to talk about for this session. Hopefully you can all kind of test this out and kind of work on submitting links, things like that, before our second session where we go over more how to send campaigns and that kind of thing, how to send A/B tests. We call this system Current, and if you go to our help docs here, which is at kubotadigital.helpdocs.com, towards the bottom you'll see a section called Current right here, and you're going to find nice tutorials on how to do all of this. So creating a mailing list, just like I mentioned earlier, you're going to see a really nice walkthrough. It's got screenshots. It goes over creating an unsubscribe page, all kinds of different things. So you can check that out. And if you want the support staff to help in any way, you can, from here, you can just click on submit a request and send us a ticket here, or you can email us, and the email address is kubotahelp@tractru.com. Again, that's kubotahelp@tractru.com. So that's all for now, and I hope to see everybody for part 2 of email marketing. Thank you so much, and take care.